All
right.
65.
Yeah,
Oh,
so excited.
65,
65, right?
Oh,
yeah,
right,
this is
right.
episode 65, right, guy? Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching the replay, this is the Three Marketeers show. If you're live here, welcome to join us. Well, this is what we do, right? We've been doing this for 65 weeks. So basically, this is where me, Andrew, and Manfred, three of us, we thought of since we got nothing much to do, dudes like us got nothing much to do on a Wednesday night like this, right? So we were like, okay, might as well we do something. So that's how we started the show. And some of the guests asked us, did we get anything out of this? In fact, none. But yet again, we have done this for a while, right? So yeah, today we have Alan. Round of applause for Alan. Yes.
Actually, we had a lot of fun and we met a lot of new people.
Yeah, we meet Alan here, right? Just now we were actually discussing. You know what we discussed just now at the backstage? I don't want to tell you yet, but anyway.
No. You don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't want to tell you. But that's a fun part, right? So today we have Alan here, also a guest being brought in by Manfred, right? So we understand Alan is specialized in marketing automation, but because he is Manfred's guest, so Manfred will probably give you a few minute. Do you need or a few seconds to introduce Alan so that we understand who?
I met Alan.
I
think 7 years already, right?
Wow.
7 years, close to 7 years already. On and off. Same thing lah. Nothing to do lah. Itchy hand. I want to play with marketing automation lah. Then play. Then realize this thing really not easy. There's a learning curve.
Okay.
So I needed a bit of help, and Alan is in the picture to help me sort out some of the issues. So marketing automation is very closely related to email marketing. And honestly speaking, in my opinion, you don't really have an advantage. Even you have SEO, SEM, or Facebook advertising, you can't really sort of cross over so easily. There's only one up, in my opinion. Andrew, agree now? Don't really have a lot of advantage. It's really a different ball game. So I think I don't talk so much. I let Alan do the talking. Alan,
but you already talked a bit, It's kind of like I asked you to introduce Alan, but you kind of like digress so far, right? But then again,
he's our first guest on marketing automation.
But anyway, that's what Manfred do, huh? He actually kind of like random. Sometimes he has different faces and all that. But welcome to the show, Alan. Really appreciate.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. But maybe can you quickly share with us about your background a little bit, Alan? Why?
Sure. So Sure. So basically, I'm a marketing professional that has been in this line for probably more than 10 years plus. So I've taken up many roles, within the marketing arena. So, but of course, my specialization is mainly in marketing automation because of my background. So I used to be a computer science student, and then eventually, so I guess marketing automation is a merger, a marry between technology and marketing as an arts, you can call it like. So quite fun. So so that's where I am today, lah. So of course, especially thank you for the good word. But I guess because I work as an agency in an agency most of my time. So basically, we are agnostic. So I guess we touch on any marketing automation platform. So basically, of course, we're talking about enterprise level. We talk about Marketeers, Eloqua, HubSpot, Pardot, and probably these are the four major ones lah. Of course, we have a smaller one like MailChimp, but those are mostly for entry level, I would say. So this is my background, rough background.
So it's very much on kind of like email side of things. Am I right to say so?
So so for entry level, usually they target more on email marketing. So so when we talk about digital marketing automation, basically, currently, so in the digital landscape marketing now, right, there's a lot of channel, right? Yep. So there's a lot of channel coming in. So of course, in most cases, the more, I would say the entry level one, marketing automation, is just for email purpose, blasting out email, right? Of course, you have to gather them as well, gather data, whatever. But for the more enterprise level, you can have add-ons, like maybe you can connect to a Twilio so that you can send WhatsApp, send SMS messages. On top of it, you can do maybe connect to a survey form. Then of course, you can send email to them, get them to fill out survey form, collect data as well. On top of it, I think basically, enterprise level can connect to any more add-ons then more services and then that kind of stuff. So basically, to hit more channels, like even like can connect to automatically publish your probably LinkedIn posts or maybe your social media posts. So these are things that enterprise level can do. Of course, the price is much different.
Of
How
course,
does CRM fall into this segment in CRM?
So CRM basically is more towards the sales side, but I think if any of you who actually try to read up the trend towards marketing, is we try to align both marketing and sales department. So the way to align them is basically sales people, you use CRM to manage direct contact. Marketing, of course, will manage activities based on whatever they have done. However, because if marketing runs silo, CRM salespeople run silo, they collect data, then there's no merger. So that's where CRM and marketing automation sort of have a gray area whereby data comes in from marketing automation will push some information to the CRM. So the salespeople will know, oh, the marketing side has done this. Then for the sales, for the marketing side, we're able to draw some data from the CRM side. So they know, oh, the salespeople actually touch this way. Maybe it's ready in the buying stage or buying cycle. Buying stage, then we don't have to nurture or we don't have to touch this particular user anymore. So that kind of thing. So it's a bit of alignment. So they don't double publish, double market the whole idea, the market audience.
I see.
Right. That already sounds like a very deep thing already. In fact, I believe for most people who are totally new to this thing, right, they will definitely find it a bit overwhelming because, like, from the last 5 to 6 minutes that we, kind of like really listen to Alan just now, right? I can see marketing automation. I can see it's more like there are a lot of things that you can do, and you're saying that at the enterprise level, you can connect to even more things like auto publishing, auto sending into not just on email side, you can even cross on to the SMS or WhatsApp, and Andrew brought up a very interesting question, which is the role of CRM as a system. And Alan gave a very good explanation, which is CRM is to connect, just to make sure that the marketing side of people and the sales side of people are kind of like knowing what each other is doing, right? So that's kind of the thing. Yes, Manfred, you raised your hand.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that I like most is, say example, I'm the customer. I visited your website. Say example, I visited ABC product. Then the email will be triggered to you regarding the ABC product. Then from there, of course, there's also another is the drip campaign. If you open, you don't open. That one is a little more complicated and you have to try. That one I let Alan do all the talking.
But then again, let's go through a bit of the questions over here. I think just to help, because fundamental of the show is, although it may sound like a bit kind of like, wow, very comprehensive, complicated kind of shit coming in, right? But then again, let's do our best to help the beginners understand this thing. Let's say if it's a complete beginner, then if I'm actually looking at marketing automation, Alan, probably you can help us to explain what is the real purpose of marketing automation for any businesses, any businesses at all.
Okay, so I guess in a very beginner stage, most of the organizations will use marketing automation as a tool. Okay, let me emphasize, it's a tool to deliver emails automatically at a stipulated time or whatever. So that's the most basic level of marketing automation purpose. However, I like to emphasize because if you want to do that, then probably marketing automation is not the best tool for you because you can just simply use your email to send it out, right? So the second thing that marketing automation platform have is personalization. Okay, so by yourself, you can do a mass mailing. Basically, they'll personalize saying that, oh dear, whoever from whatever, right? So it's very targeted message. Then of course, but the main objective of why you use marketing automation is basically you can plan the buyer's journey. Okay, once you plan the buyer's journey, you can set up the time, when to send out what kind of email, that kind of stuff. And then of course we'll talk about list scoring later part, I guess. So so fundamentally marketing automation basically is a tool to help marketers to plan out their marketing journey. Then once you set it up, automatically anybody comes in, let's say they drop in from your contact list, right? They will follow a journey. So by certain time, you send them a welcome message. Maybe 3 weeks later, you send them another message, email, telling them, hey, hi, have you downloaded this and that? This might interest you, that kind of stuff. So it's a time-based. So once you set it up, you can forget about this so-called program. Yeah.
Sounds cool.
Okay. Wow. So that's really something that I think a lot of marketers would need. So yeah, I mean, it's just to really move on from this question, just to go to the next one, which is how can I draw a journey that works? How do I start if I want to design a journey? Because you're talking about a journey, right? How do I start? Because a lot of people will be like, I seriously have no idea and I do not know. But if I'm new to this thing, right? What are the areas I should be looking at in order to learn how to start designing something like this?
Right. So a buyer's journey, right? So maybe you all can look at serious decision. So a buyer's journey is actually there's a checklist basically for it. Okay. So what happens is that a buyer's journey, every company, every organization is different. So the best way to know how's your buyer's journey, of course, you have the basic one. So the basic one is like the top of funnel, middle of funnel, and then probably bottom of funnel, right? Okay. So in terms of the marketing department, marketing side, right, we talk about top of funnel means that's what we call lead generation, right? So that's where you go for your SEM, organic search, your content syndication, your social media, whatever. Okay, so your various channel out there to get them. So the next stage of your journey is probably once you get all this data, right? What are you going to do with all these people? So then you must start planning. So basically, the problem with all this channel, the current problem is that because there's so many channels, you don't know where they drop in from. So how do you decide what kind of content to give them? Right? So your journey must start like, for example, if this person drops in from, let's say, a very organic search, so probably he's just new, he's interested. So you should put him into another segment whereby you nurture him from scratch, meaning that his journey will be awareness, right? That means about awareness about company, then product, then eventually to your value proposition of terms of the sales product, and then eventually, hopefully, he's very interested then you push them to MQL, right? Of course, a person who drops in for, let's say, social media, you post a campaign in social media, like for example, are you interested in this particular product? And he actually clicked on it. So these are actually, to me, is you don't have to go through the long journey. So you have to just push him over to say MQL and then pass to your sales department. Say, hey, he's interested. How about those? Then there's also those social media, certain like organic search. They already click on a product. Okay, that means like for your website, click on a product, a message mentioned. He clicks on the product, interested, sign up. So you probably have to push him to the middle of the journey. Then how long the journey is really depends on the organization. But of course, there's a so-called study being made. So the more expensive your product is, the longer the buying cycle. Means the decision-making process of the end user is always longer, right?
Okay.
So yeah. So basically, yeah.
I mean, okay, I actually caught a few keywords that I believe it's kind of new to me as well. What is MQL? Sorry.
Marketing qualified lead.
Qualified lead. Yeah. Then the other level is a sales qualified lead.
Marketing qualified lead, sales qualified lead. So these are two different things. So the
sales will see the lead, as in for SQL, sales will see, this is heavily for B2B. Sales will see the lead, see whether this person qualify, is it ready to buy, then they will say, okay, this is SQL. So there is sometimes a bit of problem as in, marketing never give me, marketing said, I give you the MQL, I give you 100 MQL. Then sales say, no lah, only 80 only lah, the other 20 all cannot make it one. Give me receptionist, how to sell? Right now, receptionist as a lead lah. Receptionist cannot make decision. The 1 hour calculate all the bosses. So there's some argument, but nevertheless, it's sort of like a technical jargon. I think Andrew is even better in a better position to tell you. Sorry, hijack.
But I think okay. I mean, just trying to understand. I always try to think as a complete beginner, and how can a beginner benefit from, an episode like this. So can I safely say that in order to be able to master or even get started with marketing automation, the person in charge must be able to understand the customer persona from different layer or different channel? Like you did mention that people who come in from search and people who actually take action on the social media are of complete different kind of like readiness, or they will probably have, please.
Sorry. So I guess for beginners, usually people who first join, who tackle marketing automation, right? I think their intention is never to build a journey yet, because that will be a very to me it's a second layer. The first layer was always automation, meaning that I have already a group, a small database, all right. Let me publish out on a regular basis. That means like newsletter, subscription, a blog, or whatever updates. So these are usually the first intention. Of course, when you talk about buyer's journey, when you talk about more intermediate, where you start to score people, that's where B2B are more emphasized on. There's more emphasis on the B2B, whereby because like what Manfred mentioned, because the sales and the marketing, that's where the MQL and SAL, SAL stands for sales acceptance leads, right?
Okay.
So MQL is what we define, marketing people define that, oh, these are qualified people's leads, right, based on our scoring system or whatever. Then, so once the salespeople accepted this, they will consider these are sales accepted leads, right? But accepted doesn't mean they are qualified for closing. So that's why the next stage level comes in, whereby they will go through the list and then they say, oh, these are qualified people that I want, that fits into my KPIs or my sales target. Then they'll hold it. Then the rest, they might not hold it, or they might put it one side. Although they accepted it already, so they might put it on side to maybe close it later. Maybe the amount is too small or whatever. Okay. So sales. So anyway, SAL, SQL is not something that we, as a marketing person, we are really involved in. The only things, the journey that we stop at is always at MQL. But MQL to SAL is always the so-called challenges that we face. Challenges we face. That's why there's a lot of alignment, because I mean there's always there's a need to be aligned between the sales head and the marketing head. Need to come down alignment. There must be a reason. That's where marketing automation can really shine. So that's where the lead scoring part. So we say, for example, there's marketing people are involved in coming up contents. So we can, based on after we do a marketing journey, you can based on the content that we score the user, like this user score, read this content, let's say A, C, and D content. We score him, give him 10 points, 20 points, 30 points. So add up together 60 points. So 60 points, oh, we qualify already, marketing. Then this must be agreeable by the sales side. So when we pass the list over them, they say, hey, no, they can't deny it. So that's where collaboration between the two departments, the marketing and the sales department, must be involved with this alignment. Yeah.
Okay. So that will bring us. Sorry. You go on.
Sure. Go ahead. So lead scoring.
To bring this up because you're already talking about lead scoring. I think that will be a very interesting topic, because lead scoring is not usual to most normal businesses. I guess this is more for more robust kind of like marketing automation system. Like for the email marketing system that I know is ActiveCampaign has this lead scoring, HubSpot has it, and a few more higher level kind of stuff like I said. But for more entry level like MailChimp, MailerLite, and all this, we don't have it.
Yeah.
But can you? Yeah, and this is really something that is totally new to a lot of people. So Alan gave us an example about using different touch points to score an audience based on whether they are ready to take the next step or not. So can you actually give us a little bit more explanation on this part, Alan?
Okay, so lead scoring basically based on content. So in olden times, in traditional way of marketing, right, basically we market them based on the persona, meaning that this industry, this title, the accounts, there is a marketing, this company has this certain values, right? And then we assume that he wants our product, right? So the problem with this is that the person might not be ready to buy, okay, because his sales, his cycle, or maybe he just acquired a new thing. So all these things are not known to us. So how do we do that? So basically, we send out email to them based on their interest. Maybe if they click open an email on certain products or certain emails, so we just basically sending a content based on a assumption that if they're really interested in your product, so for simplicity's sake, okay, let's say you send 10 emails to them, then this person open all 10 email. Then on top of email, he also read all your so-called infographics, your white paper, for example. That means what it means is that this person has a very high interest of your product or whatever consumption. So you can say that, oh right, this guy is ready to buy.
Okay.
So you can actually pass him to the salespeople. Of course, on the flip side, the person who does you keep sending, he fits your persona, okay, but you keep sending, he doesn't open any of email, he doesn't click to consume any of content. That means you can assume that he's not ready or he's not interested in your product anyway. So then so this is a way of elimination. So you don't pass. So you basically don't pass so-called rubbish data, rubbish leads to sales lah. And sales will don't So sales will not will acknowledge that whatever leads you pass to them are valuable leads, and then they can so you be a happy family and work together lah. So that is the whole purpose of this list scoring.
It's a filtering process.
Sorry?
It's a filtering process.
Yeah.
Okay. Manfred, you wanted to say?
Yeah, just want to add something. So maybe based on best practice that maybe you've been doing this business for many years in this B2B. So maybe the procedure is normally people saw receive your email. Maybe they get 10 points. People visited your website, another 10 points. People see your Facebook retargeting, another 10 points. Then people click and go in again and see the product and maybe go to that product, another 10 points. So maybe then he do a series of things, then 10 points, then he got 100 points already. This guy.
Which means we are able to track user activities across platform, not just on emails. But Alan will giving us a simpler kind of email-based kind of explanation.
You can. So basically, there's by like Google Analytics, okay, like Google, you have a Google tracking code, right, to place on your website and stuff like that. So marketing automation by itself, not too sure about lower level one, the entry level one, but I'm pretty sure those four that I mentioned, like Pardot, Hubspot, Eloqua, and Marketo, they have a tracking code by itself. So which can you place on your website or whatever third-party platforms that allows you to input a code, means a JavaScript code. Okay, so basically that content or that page can be tracked. Yeah.
Is it cookie based?
Sorry?
Is it
cookie based? Yeah. So no, not cookie based. Not too sure because Marketo just took out the cookie based thing, so not too sure whether it's still going on. Eloqua, the previous one is cookie based, so I'm not too sure. So there's a lot of changes going on because of GDPR, is it? Yeah. So cookie-based privacy things. So basically, some of the companies decided to take out the cookie-based instead of storing cookie in the computers. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, third-party cookies.
Yeah, I think this is the very important thing that we have to understand as we try to understand marketing automation is that, I mean, on the easier side of things, or the simpler kind of angle to look at it is we are able to score a customer or so-called a prospect based on what action they take. And Manfred was saying that, not just on email, we can even go over to kind of like website and all these kind of things. Even Facebook, is it possible?
Facebook might not. So Facebook, you can add a link to it and then lead them to your own website or a tracking website. So Facebook by itself is blocking, yeah. So, but because Facebook by itself, they have an impression and then they have their own pixel tracking already. But what you can do is that, so that's the alternatives that you can provide a link in your Facebook post or LinkedIn post that goes to maybe another web page that has your tracking code for that with the Marketo, the marketing automation tracking code in it. So that's where you track them as well and track them where they come from. Yeah.
This is more for B2B.
So that's
okay, it's more for B2B. I mean, it's just saying I can understand this more for B2B. Do you think this is suitable?
Sorry, marketing automation actually B2C also can do. It's just that this lead scoring, lead nurturing is famous for B2B because it's very difficult. And these people you only have such a small audience. And the timing is very important because they are at different stage of buying. So the intricate details is very important for this lead scoring, lead nurturing. Correct, Alan?
I could be wrong, but I think for B2C, the term would be called a funnel. Whereas for B2B is what you do the marketing automation, because the sales cycle is generally longer, and very likely there's going to be more technical. Is that sounds?
Basically, they are both the same. So the funnel, they are both basically whether B2C or B2B, they are both called a sales funnel or journey. Basically, it's just a funnel. It's just that the funnel, how long, how short is, of course, we're talking about consumer, Shopify, all those. The cycle is shorter. So okay, so so one of my past experience working with B2C company, they still use marketing automation. Okay, so what did they use it for? So they usually use it for abandoned carts, recommendation, and then of course they use it for like the moment you purchase it, they send automation email to let them know that the purchase and confirm stuff. So these are things that trigger based things that usually those what are B2C people use it for. Of course, not as they don't really plan for buyer's journey like most B2B do. B2C uses it more for like really a marketing or sales brochure kind of stuff.
Yeah, maybe like in terms of increasing customer lifetime value and kind of stuff to get more sales.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Now we get a better picture because now we understand that from the B2B perspective, it is a longer journey where the marketing automation plays a more different role. I would say more like a intermediate role connecting marketing and the sales department, so that both parties will love each other and a happy family kind of thing. And for B2C perspective, marketing automation is more towards the marketing, whereby because it's already kind of like already sales oriented kind of stuff, right? So lead scoring may or may not apply to B2C, am I right?
Yeah. So lead scoring usually don't apply. I would say that I have not come across anybody who actually asked me to design it for because basically, okay, so B2C is very different. So I guess people goes inside to buy things they already have an intention to buy already.
Yeah.
It's just whether the price is right. So lead scoring doesn't serve a purpose. So lead scoring, however, saying that if a company has a lot of product, you can use lead scoring in another way. That means you, instead of taking a lead scoring to say that the person has an interest in buying the thing, you use it to test which product he's interested in.
Right.
That means, for example, you can send an email like say 10 items. For the next next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you send him 3 emails. Consistently, he's clicking on a particular item like webcam. Okay, so probably the next time when you send him, you don't have to send all 10 items. You can just send him immediately send him just a webcam brochure or promotion. We say, hey, buy this now and enjoy 10%. So these are things that you can use lead scoring for as well.
I think it's a very interesting idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a very interesting idea. Is there any marketing automation tool that can allow us to even on the fly personalize the email newsletter content based on this? Or we have to come in and get involved in tweaking the content? Because you see,
definitely have to come up from you.
Yeah, but then again, because your idea is very, very good, but how easy is it to be executed is another thing. Like just now you're saying, let's say out of 100 people, right? Maybe there are only 2 persons who is only clicking on the webcam, but there are about 30 of them who clicking on the earbuds kind of stuff, right? So if you want to be able to do this kind of personalization, as in like, that those 30 will keep on seeing earbuds, and these 3 buggers will always see the webcam because they click. That would be the most ideal situation, isn't it?
I think it's possible to build. It's possible to build. Yes.
Is it possible?
It's possible to build.
The drip campaign,
yeah.
Correct.
Nurture campaign. So nurture can be called nurture campaign. So nurture. So and since we're talking about nurture and drip, so I think so what's the difference between drip and nurture? Drip is the drip campaign is usually time based. That means fixed journey. That means there's no changes. So no changes means that for example your newsletter, regular one, your promotional monthly promotion, your newsletter, these are regular things that every month you send to them. No change. The content that means it's always fixed. So nurture campaign is more interesting, as the word nurture means that based on behavior. So drip campaign I don't care. As long as you continue on, I just push you through. I don't care. I just force it down your throat. So the other one, nurture, is basically nurture. So based on, let's say just like what I mentioned, if this guy click webcam, okay. Yeah. So the next phase of promotion, I just send him webcam. So these are what we can do as well. So based on the marketing automation, that's why we can track the behavior. Then on the campaign itself, we can push him to only webcam. And then we, of course, we must prepare the emails for webcam lah, all these things lah. So that's where the difference between drip and nurture. I hope I make myself clear.
100%. That really helps. Helps
So normally
us really
the
understand.
newsletter is actually under drip lah. Normally it
Under
is
drip
like
lah.
send out, yeah.
So as long as you are in, right, then as long as whatever that I have in the plan, then you just take lah, whether you like it or not, until you unsubscribe or
Right.
whatnot, basically, right?
Yeah.
But the nurturing
Yeah.
campaign is more like it's well designed and based on your behavior kind of stuff.
Correct.
But that idea will be very interesting. So guys, I believe now, up to now, you can really tell that Alan is really an expert when it comes to marketing automation. So just in case you guys want to connect with him, this is the link that you can actually go to and connect with him on LinkedIn. So it's linkedin.com/in/Alan Chia, the L being numeric 1.
Is it
Yes.
the bank one?
Yes, it's a numeric 1.
But if you go
okay.
Alan Chia, I think we can still go to you. I think this link can go to you. I tested just now.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
We
I mean, I registered as Alan Chia as the 1 as in numeric 1.
But
So-
I think it's okay. Anyway, you can go and look for Alan Chia lah. Or
Yeah.
the one that looks like Alan Chia. You know, if you're listening to the podcast right
Round.
now, yeah, I mean, just come over. If you're listening to the podcast on Apple Podcast or whatnot, right? Just come over to the YouTube video and look at Alan, and go over to LinkedIn and look for Alan. So
Do a face recognition, manual face recognition, you will understand.
Jason, maybe you can copy the link and put inside Facebook and YouTube for
yeah,
them.
I will do that. I will do that.
Yeah.
So guys, if you have any questions regarding marketing automation, anything at all, like if you need some recommendation about tools to use, or if you want to actually ask a few things that is related to your products or even your company, I think this is the best time, because Alan works.
He's the man.
He's the man, and he's not cheap. That's why. But he's here anyway. He is kind of like, no choice. He has to answer questions, so he has to do this. So yeah. So if you have any questions, remember to pop in the chat, okay? And I'll be able to bring them up and kind of like just let Alan to help you over here if there's anything, right? So just now we actually did cover this thing, right? But really, I think we really want to have a better understanding about the effectiveness of marketing automation, Alan. So up to now, we can actually look at it as in like, okay, it sounds necessary and it sounds important, but in terms of effectiveness, how can we define and how effective is that thing?
Well, I get to ask this question. People ask this question very frequently.
Yeah.
And really, some people like to ask this thing: what's the best marketing automation tool that you will use? Is marketing automation actually effective? So let me answer the effective part. So again, it's just a tool, right? How effective your marketing actually depends on the plan on you. It's not the tool. It's just
Very
like
true.
Yeah, so it's just like me having a mobile phone, a smartphone, right? It's very different with how my parents will use a smartphone. To me, I can use my smartphone effectively because I basically reply to email, I use to calculate currency, I use to do trading or whatever. I can do all sorts of things with my mobile phone. So it's very effective, it's very efficient, it helps me a lot. But to my parents, right, to them, it's just a mobile phone to make a phone call. That's about it. So I've seen organizations that use marketing automation just as an email server. Mentioned they have a database. They just send email out. That's it, right? So there are more experienced one whereby they have a team. Then they start building content. Then of course they use it to nurture. So I think marketing automation is effective eventually if you really use it to nurture. Or it can help you to really streamline down to know your audience. So if you use it to that part whereby you're able to know your audience and then you can effectively market it, and then of course the closure of the deal, then that's effectiveness to me. And how you achieve that is depend how you use the tool.
I totally agree with this metaphor. I like the metaphor, which is using a smartphone as a metaphor. But then again, I think that boils down to the awareness of why do you want a marketing automation in the first place. For any company, like you mentioned just now, right? Using marketing automation as an email hosting, I think that's kind of like, what the hell is that, right? Might as well just go and pay the cheapest one, MailChimp, MailerLite, whatever, right? Rather than the marketing automation. So why you need that is a very important question to ask.
So I guess a lot of things you need to answer yourself. So you need to define. So marketing automation has a lot of definition to a lot of people. So initially, when I know about marketing automation, right? Basically, it's just to me, I thought it's a silver bullet to solve all my problem, digital marketing problem, right? So, but unfortunately, it doesn't, right? So eventually, I realized the person who uses it, like that's what I meant. As long as you are the person who actually controls the tool, and then eventually you are the one who's solving your problem, organization problem, right? Then the needs of it. So that's where you determine what kind of tools that you need. So there's a lot of marketing automation, especially you mentioned there's autopilot or whatever, campaign first. So these are entry levels that you can check it out. Even Hubspot by itself, I think they have if you are so-called entry level and you want to have a bit of a feel of doing it, you can just join there for free. Like I think they allow you 500 people. So you can have a database of 500 people just to try out marketing automation. Then you can try to see whether it suits you or not. So the first question you probably have to ask is, what do you want to use it for? So if you are going to use it for engagement, knowing your audience, then great. Marketing automation is a tool. If you're just sending so-called sales brochure, then maybe it might not be effective, or it might not be useful to you, lah.
I think Alan brought up a very good point. So rather than jump in really just to immediately go and pay for the subscription and jump into any marketing automation platform, I believe most of the platforms offer some free kind of like free trial kind of stuff and all that, right? Because that's something that I went through when I was choosing my email marketing system and all that. I actually went through a lot of I used Drip for a couple of weeks, and I used Active Campaign for a couple of weeks and all that. I tried almost all of them to find out what I really need. Because most of the time it's not about what you need, it's what you don't need, and yet you might be paying for it, right? Like I went into some of the system, they are so massive. I was like, no, this is not for me. My business don't need this thing, right? And I was like, okay, good to know that you have so many things, like 500 over crazy features, but I only need some of them. So that would be the best practice, I believe so, Alan. Yeah. Go in and try first, and find what you really need, and go and try the systems and see which one is more suitable for you. Because although you talk about marketing automation, I believe different, like all the 4 you mentioned, right? All of them has got their own very unique USPs. In a way.
I'm sorry, I don't know. Okay, maybe I'm too seasoned user to all the marketing automation platforms, so they are pretty much the same. I don't know. It might be different to a lot of people. I really, because I really lost touch. How the first few, I only know that they are pretty much the same to me. Yeah. Okay. It's just it's just like me looking at on the road. For example, cars are just cars. It's just an avenue for me to get from point A to point B. But some people look at cars, oh, this is Audi, oh, powerful. They can't, oh, this is F1 or Mercedes or whatever. So there are most people look at it that way. But to me, a car is just a car. So marketing automation, probably. So but again, a unique selling point, if you really want, I guess for people who are not really technical savvy, then maybe they should not try, Eloqua is one of them that you should not try to touch. Definitely keep out of them if you're not technically savvy, because to me, it's like an F1 car. So basically you need a lot of engineers, you need a lot of professional people to maintain it, to work on it. But of course, if you can work wonders with it, it's a very powerful tool, like a powerful F1. Otherwise, you can try the rest of them pretty much. And then, of course, you are not technically savvy, then you should look at something that offers you template email building. So those are really, So I think these are basic necessity for most of the people who are not technically savvy. Yeah. Then the rest of the journey building, I think pretty much the same. Yeah. Then, of course, we don't talk about reporting. Of course, reporting, again, for entry level, probably you won't need so much in detail. But of course, if you're more professional and more bigger enterprises, the second decision that they really make, they decide on buying, what kind of automation system they buy is really depend on reporting. How customizable the reports are. Can we add additional data fields? How do we measure the kind of, so these are different levels. So of course, if your business don't need, then really, I guess, Hubspot is a good one to have a taste of what an enterprise feature looks like, and it's free. I think it's free forever for the first 500.
For
First 500
CRM,
contacts.
yes, CRM is free.
500 is free, right? Wow, okay.
I think automation is also free. I'm not too sure, but anyway, you can try. I'm not too sure already, but you can just go and try it out.
Yeah,
for
you click
enterprise
in,
level.
if you need to pay, then you go out, lor. Right now, just go in and try. I think that's the thing. But is there any way that we can learn this thing, Alan? I mean, just like any other things out there, right? Before I want to go in, because I'm just trying to think as a complete beginner, and I know that I probably have a business problem to solve, but I have no clue where to start. I have no idea how to actually do all these drip, whatever, nurturing and not. Is there any way I can learn, or do you offer any learning programs or something like that?
Good idea. Maybe next time I should try.
You see, you have 4 platforms. Each one of them, you teach people how to use, and that will become a very expensive one because they will pay expensive subscription fee for those, isn't it?
No.
So most of the enterprise platform, most of the enterprise platform basically offers, if you buy them, of course they offer training already, like onboarding. So whether it's through agencies, like last time my agent, the agency that I work for, we will provide training, onboarding, like 2 days training, to help guys. But not too sure about the other rest, like autopilot or whatever, campaign first. Not too sure. But usually as a client, I mean, as far as I understand, most of the marketing automation tool that once you really confirm, chop and sign, buy, usually they have a customer success or account success manager to follow you, to help you out. Yeah. Of course, if you need additional help, so if you need additional help, you can always contact me. Then we will decide about how I can help you.
No, that's the right thing to do, because you see, eventually, right, this is a very, very extensive thing, and it's a very, very not an easy thing to do, to be very frank.
Yeah.
Like up to now, 42 minutes in, right? You know, some people may even find this thing like, what the hell are you guys, four dudes talking about? When seriously, like marketing automation, like, what am I automating? You mean that what? There's so many things involved in this whole thing. Without, like, today we are not able to just open up the marketing automation tool and look at certain tools to give you a tease of the whole thing, right? So we a lot of us, we really need help. That's why, really, if you guys need help, right, this is the link. I've already posted the link on my Facebook page as well as my YouTube channel. Go over and connect with Alan on LinkedIn and see how he can help you, because like what I mentioned just now, you already pay a premium in to subscribe to all these services. And if you're not, like, if you have a bloody F1 car in your garage and you don't know how to drive it, then what's the point? Yeah. So you have to maximize, because you do this for your business. Am I right? Am I right to say that? You buy this system, you want this thing because you want to grow your business. But then again, if you're not maximizing it, don't be like our parents using a smartphone. Be like Alan using a smartphone, So that's how we do that, isn't it? Isn't it?
I think from a personal experience, at one point in my former company, we were looking for a sales CRM. And well, first thing first, because of marketing or whatever it is, the first choice was Salesforce, right? Because they have all the tools and it all sounds so sexy, you see. Yeah. So when I started looking into the tools, but the important thing I think Alan has mentioned is you then have to look back inwards into your organization. Do you have the right people? Do you have the right tool, right mentality, and do you have the right skills to actually use these tools? Then I found out that most of the sales guys, they are not so disciplined in entering the data. So if you don't have enough data into the system, it's basically useless. Then the second thing is, then you have content, right? Because you're going to build a whole entire marketing automation, you need touch points, and then you deliver content and all those things. And we didn't have people like this. And at the same time, like, once all this process is done, you need somebody to look at the data and make some sense out of it and see what are the improvisation that you can do, what are the gaps that you can fix, and all those things. So if you do not have all this soft skill or the human component in place, or at least a process in place, then that's where you have to decide whether do you want to go and get a high-end CRM, although it has all the fancy tools that it's going to supposedly make your business fly, but there's nothing to support it. So like Alan mentioned, if you have an F1 car in your garage now and nobody knows, and you don't even have a very highly skilled mechanic, that car is going to be a very expensive display item.
White elephant.
Yes.
And
So-
on top of that,
Yeah.
just want to add, Eloqua, the learning curve is there. It's really there. Not
Yeah.
easy. Although there's a Eloqua University, but it's not easy.
The university somehow, that sounds
Yes, yeah.
like really a degree for me.
These are like for telcos and also because you really need business analysts. And these are the people whose job is to look at the data and make sense of it and says, oh, there's a segment of market that's interested in this and their price point is this, and these are the offering that you can look at, these are the things, product that you can create for them and all the stuff. You know, so I think for my personal experience, start with your email system first. If you cannot build flows for your email system, then you can have, even Salesforce come and offer the license for you for free. I can guarantee you'll probably be using like 1% of the capabilities, which is basically in the end sending emails or capturing emails. Get a clerk or something to capture the email address or contact address into a database, and that's for it.
So I guess it's about taking baby steps instead of jumping in and straight away go for the Ferrari or the F1 car.
Yeah.
Yes.
Understand your process. You don't have a process in place, you're not ready for it.
Yeah, and this is kind of like a process that may take some time. So as we move along, I think for any businesses who wants to start adopting any marketing automation, I think Andrew offered a very good insight here, which is there are actually a lot more things than just a system. You need a guy, you need a person who do the data part, you need a person who do the content part, you need a person to do to analyze. So if you're not ready to invest in this thing, then you probably just need an email marketing system. So just go for that, instead of a marketing automation system, right? I think that's a very interesting advice that anybody who wants to look into marketing automation to start with. Now, okay, like Richard was saying, Eloqua, no joke. The headcount required to manage the monster can get expensive. Yeah, I think we would agree to that. So it sounds like something, because already they offer university, we need degree holders to be there, isn't it? So that's kind of the thing, okay? Now, guys,
before I my friend damn funny, he don't want to come and comment. He gonna message me, so don't mind. I read out his comment.
Okay.
You say
Manfred's funny friend.
Yeah, my mysterious friend. Half of the time in my company, we didn't even have Salesforce analysts, and the data is all jumbled up as people create their own fields, trash in, trash out from the system. Then after that, we hire a Salesforce analyst, and we become more disciplined and strategic on the info we want on all levels of company, and forcing the salespeople to use the system. And finally, good data comes in and you're able to track the lead acquisition to the amount of value for sales and potential we lost. We lost, not we win.
Yeah, knowing how much you lost is also a very good finding, I believe. At least now you know what are you leaving on the table.
Yeah,
but I guess
you're listening to this, please come and write inside the comment here, share here, don't message me.
Come here don't be shy. Although like 4 dudes over here is a bit weird, but anyway. So I'm just saying, I think that brought up. I mean, Manfred's friend brought up a very good point over here, which is discipline. You see, marketing automation, although it sounds like it's automated, but no, it actually involves a lot of kind of like exercises from your end, even a lot of manpower from your end to actually make this thing work. But having a clear goal is the key. Why do you need this? Is your problem big enough that you need something like this to solve, right? So basically, that's where you start. Okay. So yeah, remember, if you guys want to, if you have anything that you need help, from Alan, I'm supposed to bring up Alan's contact once more, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to make the same mistake. Like sometime actually I forgot to bring their name, the link up. So sorry about that. But okay, now I probably want to go over and to look at this thing again, because I think we cover this thing, right? We talk about the challenges in marketing automation, like Manfred's friends brought up. Andrew also brought up that, one of the challenges, you may not have enough support to actually run this thing, or your team may not have the discipline to make this thing run. What are the other things that we should look into, Alan, like in terms of challenges in marketing automation?
I think the challenges, okay, so for personally me, because I started with Eloqua first. So Eloqua, like the gentleman who mentioned that it's a no joke thing. So Eloqua is a very interesting thing. So the moment, it's very intimidating. The moment you logged in, company name, if your login ID, your password, the moment you go in and you look at the interface, like you're thinking, what the hell is this? Very sure. Anybody who goes in is like, what the hell? Then you pull out the campaign canvas, you look at it, scratching your head. What am I supposed to do with this? So it's very natural. But the problem is that I think as long you go, you force yourself to make this way. So the more you force yourself, or you blind yourself with all this interface thingy, pretty much and focus, then they are pretty much very easy to go. It's very easy to work with. So that is the challenges of marketing Eloqua. So once you get past the interface, actually you realize that all the rest of the tools out there, they are pretty much similar. It's just the interface is pretty much different. Of course, if you're asking about more on the trend or future, how it will work, what's the biggest challenge currently in terms of marketing automation, or what marketing automation professionals are facing, is pretty much the challenges of integrating all the different channels to one. Like for example, you just mentioned, does Facebook allow you to put tracking code inside? I would say no. So how are you going to solve it? So you have to think of ways to solve it, like redirect the link to a third part to another site whereby you can input your tracking code. That's one way to solve it. Or so because of the channel or the variety of as a variety of channel getting more and more, and the complexity of all these things getting, different channel, different audience. So you basically split up your audience. It's not like last time marketing very simple. It's either newspaper, TV, or basically MRT or whatever, stop ads. That's it, full stop. Now the channel is so much, and pretty much I would say 80% of the people are consuming content from digital, and the channel is so much. So technically you are spending more money on marketing because of different channel. They are trying to get your marketing dollars. So the challenges is always integration, finding the most effective channel for your own industry or own products, and then then you can actually focus on your marketing dollars on that channel. So these are three, to me, the very big challenges that is currently now and in the future.
Those are very good advice. Yes. Yeah.
Can I check with you? A lot of my friends who do B2B digital marketing, the first thing they say, must do marketing automation. 不用想. So do you agree with this kind of assumption? When you do B2B, you can't avoid, you have to do MA. It's a sweeping statement, by the way.
Yeah. How to put it politically correct?
It's okay. It's okay. It's a late night show, my friend.
So long time ago, my friend told me this thing. Long time ago, somebody told me, not I come up, somebody told me, Alan, you know about marketers or not? They are the laziest person on earth. So anything that can help them to do less work, okay, they will do it. So technically, if that is the reason why most B2B people, B2B marketers, they will say marketing automation is a must. But can you achieve personalization, sending email using Outlook, personalization to the industry without marketing automation? Yes. I mean, you can use Excel sheet, okay, to create the first name, last name. Then you can link it to your Outlook and then get the data from it and personalize the email. You can do that as well. It's just that it's going. You can do that. So I mean, you're going to find it out. I'm sure Google, my best friend Google will provide a solution for you. So you can use Excel and Outlook to send personalized email, and you can even Outlook, right? You can go and download for Ivato or whatever the HTML code for a template, and then you can actually copy the code and paste into Outlook. So basically, it looks like a very email newsletter kind of thing. You can do that as well, and then you just send it out. You can do that. All these things can be done using Outlook. Just that there's a lot of effort to do it. So that's what marketing automation solve as well. What marketing the tool solve as well is basically, instead of letting marketers do all this mundane work, right? So they bring them out. So they actually took out this problematic part. So marketers actually, the purpose of marketers basically to plan the buyer's journey, plan the content, come up creative content, and then find out engagement. So these are, I guess, the more important task that a marketer should do, instead of, right, like I mentioned, the copy email and stuff like that. So you let the marketing automation. So marketing automation solve that part of the problem as well.
Right.
Yeah.
That's totally very very politically correct answer to that. But I think it makes sense. In fact, I agree with you that marketers should actually spend time doing more things instead of this kind of mundane kind of work. But anyway, let's quickly round up this discussion with some advice from you in terms of how can we come out with what is a good marketing automation strategy and how can we execute it.
So I guess from all this for the past, I don't know, 55 minutes. So
55.
basically, there is no one size fits all strategy. All right. So, but there are three things before I embark on automation platform or whatever when I design a campaign journey, right? Marketing journey in terms for okay. There are three things that I definitely will do. So first, I will work with the various stakeholders. That means probably my boss, okay, the sales, the marketing, or whatever, whichever department that really, okay, they are involved. So I need to understand the business objective. Then I need to understand the marketing objective. Then I need to understand the sales target. I need to know the sales target. So from these three things, I need to align them. Then I can plan my strategy, whatever strategy you want to do it. Okay. So then the second thing I need to do is that I look for any existing program that's already working. Then I will shorten. The strategy is always to shorten the buying cycle or the buyer's journey. So you optimize the program, or so if you're optimize it. So the program can be for lead nurturing. You see whether you can optimize it, or it's for inbound. You see whether you can increase the awareness, or you can increase the lead funnel, increase your pipeline. So all these are gaps that I'll look at to see. Look at things that whether the existing program and optimize it. Then of course the third thing it comes about is the gap. So there's no perfect program or whatever. So however, you still need to look at gaps to close them up, to see whether you can improve the program, or whether it meets, or certain programs may not be very relevant to the current company objective. Then you can remove them away. Or there are certain programs that are evergreen, it means forever, they're always relevant. Then you can continue put in inside. So these are things that usually these are three things I usually will do before I embark on a strategy. Yep.
Okay.
Good, very, very, very detailed explanation. It sounds like, this is my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, right? So embarking on the journey of a marketing automation, having a marketing automation system for your business, or even creating a marketing automation strategy, is about assembling like a huge machine, or like even a Ferrari. So you need to understand a lot of things. First, you need to understand the needs. And if you don't know how to find out all this important information from all the stakeholders involved, right, then you might be making wrong decision on the second step, which is to look for the system that are more viable for you. And then of course, Alan puts it right in terms of looking for any customization needed. And on top of that, the third one was what already just now you were saying?
I'm looking for any gaps within the.
Correct. So that sounds like really you need a consultant. So let me bring up this link again. So this is the link that yeah, of course you need a consultant, right? You can't do this alone, my friend. You're trying to assemble a Ferrari. Come on, man. Do you know how? You don't, and you need help. So this is the link that you can actually go on and connect with Alan on LinkedIn. And I already put the link over there, or you can actually just go over to LinkedIn and look for Alan Chia, connect with him. He knows his stuff, and you really need him on your side in order to build a very optimized marketing automation strategy for your business to really make money, or even like what Manfred said just now, right? To know what you have actually lost in terms of the opportunities that you have lost. So that kind of sums up our discussion today. But before we go, Manfred, I will leave the link over here for a while, right? Manfred, what are you having for us tonight in terms of your website of the week?
We talked so much about email or marketing automation, of course, email.
Well, email was only a fraction, like 10%.
Yeah. Fraction.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Andrew will like this one.
Okay, wait, let me bring it up, and let me bring down Alan's link over here first. Okay, you go ahead. What is this?
This is mail.com. Mail is a search engine for email newsletter, but unfortunately, you don't have Singapore, Malaysia. This one don't have.
What do you mean search engine for email newsletter?
Yeah.
Oh,
so today, let's say example, maybe I'm interested in watches.
Oh. This is cool.
Yeah. I'm not sure this is US.
So you go in and like spy on other people's newsletter lah.
Yeah lah. My
Have you
too liao
created
lah.
that? My too liao. Go. So mail.com, search engine for email newsletter. That's
is good for design inspiration and copy inspiration. Yes.
Yeah. I think this is good. Wow.
Know yourself, know your competitors. 100 battles win without any worries. Right?
Okay lah, that is the purple Manfred.
顺势 Manfred.
顺子兵法.
Anyway.
Okay, looks good. You all got the URL, go and play with it. Quite fun.
Okay, you guys got a
Yeah,
URL, go
everyone,
and play with it. Okay, like TY said already ready to go and truly idea already. Okay, great. Great marketers copy. So that's the right thing to do. All right.
Imitation is the sincere form of flattery.
Uyyo.
If I copy you, means you are damn bloody good. Right? I want to copy you. Don't run away.
Okay. Well, that's really a lot of learning from Alan. Really, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And guys, you know what to do. If you need somebody to really help you build a marketing automation strategy, head over to LinkedIn and connect with Alan, and that's where you can actually get probably the best in the industry to help you build this thing. You know, this is your business at stake. You want to actually really like make more money or know how much you are losing. That's where you do right. So that's marketing automation, and that wraps up next week. Yes.
Next week, 66, we have a lady from Indonesia talking about influencers and social commerce. So if you're interested, any question, just drop me a message in my LinkedIn profile. I'll work on that. So I see you all next week.
All right. So next week we have Indonesia, our first Indonesian guest. Okay, talking about influencer and social commerce.
Social commerce.
Right? Awesome.
Social commerce.
So just join us next week the same time, because the 3 Marketeers shows happens every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. We've been doing this for about 60 over weeks, so we plan to do it at up to 100 at least. I don't know. I think we can actually achieve this. But thank you so much, Alan, for joining us tonight, and thank you for everyone who are actually still with us and join us anyway. So see you next week, same time, 10 p.m. on Wednesday night for another 3 Marketeers show. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye, everyone. Good night.
Cheers.